if you do everything right and something happens, it's not your fault. It is the bad guy's fault. It is the rapist's fault.
Welcome to Let's Talk, ladies. Conversations across generations. I'm MB Roberts, an author and journalist, and this is a podcast where we talk to women from their 20s to their 90s about a bunch of hot topics. We ask questions, share experiences, and learn from each other. And it's not just about older women giving advice. We want to know what younger women are thinking too. So let's get talking. Sexual assault is a very real thing for women of all ages. I mean, true, the risk, the threat is greater for women ages 12 to 34, but it happens to women younger and older than that too. We talked about that last season during our interview with personal safety expert Stephanie Sear, who runs an amazing program called Power Up Moves. So check it out if you haven't. But we want to dig deeper today into how women can stay safe, some real tools. And we've got just the guest to talk to. Until recently, Lorraine McGuire was the Vice President, Community Relations for the Sexual Assault Center in Nashville. She's a consultant now and just started a business, Sunrise Strategies, which helps nonprofits raise non-government money. This is a real need as many groups are losing their traditional funding sources. I'm sure you've heard about that in the news. She's been named to Nashville Business Journal's Women of Influence in 2025 and 40 Under 40 in 2019 for all her great work. Let's talk to Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, MV. Hello.
We are so happy to have you, or rather me, because I'm flying solo today, but I am really, really glad to be, that sounds odd to say, I'm glad to be talking about some serious topics, but I'm really glad to have you here as an expert and to talk about something really important. Well, when you tell people that you work for the Sexual Assault Center, how do they typically react?
Oh, man. It's like I like to say, I'm excellent at spoiling a dinner party. You just say what you do, and then everyone's kind of like, oh, okay.
Do they kind of like move inch away from you or not want to hear anymore?
That, or they'll just dive in and ask questions, or, it's an extreme reaction of usually, but you always get that, that just that gasp. That. Like, no, they were not expecting that. But I think it's good to normalize topics that we're uncomfortable talking about.
That's absolutely fantastic. It's true. It's when we started this podcast, it was because my friend and I were in our early 50s, and we were things were happening to us that happen, and now body. I think a lot more people are talking about menopause. There's my word. Talk about clearing a room.
Yes. Menopause.
Yes. Especially guys, they can all I was lucky enough to be on a local TV show here talking about the podcast, and when I said the word menopause, the two young hosts were the look on their face, and I quickly put them out of their misery and said, we talk about other things too that change as over the years, or that are different from your 20s or your 30s, like asking for a raise, but yeah, we have our thing, don't we, Lorraine?
Yes. But listen, I mean, young women should want to know about it. I talk about perimenopause, you talk about menopause, my daughters talk about PMS. Like, it's a part of life, and men shouldn't shy away from it. They should embrace and know and understand.
No, it helps them to know what's coming too. I mean,
yes, and how to be supportive and how to love that. And men have their own cycles and hormones. We just don't talk about them, and they just have. So, I like the normalization of talking about different stages of where we're at as women.
That's fantastic. And how did you get that kind of great mindset? Does that come from your family, or just evolved over the years?
I will say it definitely did not come from my family, which is interesting, right? And Mom, sorry if you're going to listen. I know you will, because you're so great. But no, we just didn't talk about that very much. And she was open, but it wasn't really, there were certain topics that we stayed away from. I got to say, just must be my personality of just like, let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Why is it awkward? Bodies, sex, this shouldn't be awkward. We all have bodies, we all have body parts, and that made me, actually in college, I thought I wanted to be a sex therapist. So, because I just felt like it was so shameful to talk about. And we could do a whole other podcast on how the shame around sex to young girls feeds into part of the rape culture.
It completely does. I'm just thinking, and I'm kind of skipping ahead, but I just, it made to think it's your fault. A shameful thing just happened to you if you were assaulted, or even if you had sex and you weren't comfortable doing that. I can't tell anyone, I was wrong. Oh my gosh, we are getting right into it. But I think I had a family that did not talk about things. We did an episode, actually, it was our pilot episode for this podcast, was about how did you learn about sex for the first time. I love that topic because people often have very, I think, amusing stories, and our whole thinking was that younger women, they're getting all the information on YouTube everywhere, but really they're not so much, it hasn't changed that much. And we have a huge opportunity because, my mom basically told me, don't do it.
Yes.
And then walked out of the room. And, when I was in 5th grade, and I didn't do that exactly like that, and I feel
it's hard. Well, apparently my mom had this conversation, and then I repeated it, I think, in kindergarten. So I mean, like, it was I was told very early, and then maybe a little too early, about just the
like the mechanics
of it. But that was right, we were on the right track. But then it turns into this, don't do it, and if I talk about it, then you're more likely to do it. So we're not going to talk about it, you just don't do it. And really neglecting the fact that young women have hormones, and young people, not just young women, but young people have hormones, and what happens during puberty. And it's not unnatural or shameful to have these thoughts and feelings. And we're so obsessed with saying don't that we don't let people know what's healthy. And then that is where the unhealthy comes in.
That's right.
And the shame.
That's right. And that breaks my heart. Well, I mean, you just talked about that, just you've come about this sort of mindset just through living. You work in nonprofits, you have worked in nonprofits. And so how did getting into this particular area happen for you? Because it's not I'm trying to think of a light nonprofit, like
puppies.
Puppies. Or planting flowers in the median strip or something. This is different.
Parks.
How did you get into this specialty?
Well, like I said, in college, I got a degree in psychology. I really thought maybe I wanted. So going way back, actually, my mom, my sister, and I experienced homelessness when I was very young.
Oh my goodness!
And so that was.
Where did you grow up?
So my parents split up, and my mom moved to California. It's a very long story, and we ended up being homeless, and that shaped me in a lot of ways.
Oh, I bet.
And because my mother, who was this incredibly strong, amazing woman, we also, during this time of living in poverty in the United States, often, and when I say often, sometimes every weekend, we would go to Tijuana and also serve the poor there. Because in my mom obviously wanting us to keep connected with the roots, but also to see a different level of poverty, of like, yes, we do have it bad here, we are very poor, but that doesn't mean we can't be happy. As a family unit, I just remember there still being a lot of joy. There were some really terrible situations that other people unintentionally put us in, of like, oh, we'll get you in, we don't want you to sleep on the streets, and thank God we never did, but we're going to put you in this motel that's infested with,
quote, motel,
infested in cockroaches and known for trafficking and drugs and all of this. And my mom always made it like fun. I was very young, I was 3 or 4. And so in my mind, the idea of what poverty and justice was, it was always with me. And hearing about things in my family that went on, and just systemic sexual abuse and childhood sexual abuse, and it just remember thinking of, this is wrong. And so then in college, it's like I'm thinking, I want to talk about this. I want to be a therapist for this. I want to work with juveniles who've gone through this. And then when I graduated and I started looking jobs, I was like, oh God, I can't make $17,000 a year. So
no, I remember I looked at a couple nonprofit jobs right out of college, and I think I was offered $14,000.
Yeah.
like to work for a really wonderful nonprofit, but I
They
wanted
always
to do
are.
it.
Of course you do. You want to, but then you can't.
That wasn't available.
So that just shifted my mindset. And then I started in corporate sales and then had the opportunity for my first nonprofit job 17 years ago. And then, of course, as a woman and seeing that and knowing it and having family affected by it. But the last 10 years since moving to Tennessee has specifically been working with nonprofits that are gender-based violence and sexual violence.
Yeah. So you are consulting for the
Yes.
Sexual Assault Center. And what can you tell folks a little bit about what services they offer? I mean, there's a hotline, there's counseling.
So yes, 24-hour crisis and support hotline, and we like to say crisis and support because you might hear this podcast today, and it might trigger something that happened to you a long time ago, and you just need to talk to somebody about that. That's what the crisis line is for.
That's what you could do, and I'm going to just shout it out. It's the support line number is 866-811-RISE, and that's 7473. So yeah, it's absolutely something that you can take advantage of if you need it.
You hear something you don't know how to report something, you're just not sure, call that. The other thing that Sexual Assault Center provides that's very unique is the only 24-hour non-hospital facility to get a rape kit done, one of the very few in the state, definitely in Davidson and the 6 surrounding counties. And so most people think that you can go and get a rape kit at any ER, and that is not the case.
Is that not the case?
That
I
is
didn't know.
not the case. In Davidson County, there's only 3, Sexual
goodness.
Assault Center being one of them. So you just think, I'm going to go do this. If you are even going to do this and you're brave, it's a very invasive process, and it's hard to go through after trauma. It's another level. But then you go to an ER and they say, sorry, we don't do those, you're going to have to go somewhere else. Well, then that's really difficult.
Oh my goodness, that adds a whole other difficulty, complication, just the whole thing. But that's really good to know. And I was hoping you would share a bit about there's a really unique program called the Safe Bar app. Can you tell us about that?
I love Safe Bar. I love it because it is, Nashville is what? We are a fun city.
Yeah. Party time.
We like to party. I like to party. It's fun.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to say don't do this.
Yeah.
This is risk mitigation, and I did listen to your episode that you did on other safety things, and I just loved hearing that and talking about it. But this is a little bit different because we train bars, alcohol serving establishments, we train them to learn how to safely intervene if they see this happening in their establishment, and then also offer them resources that they can give drug detection cards that test for the 2 most common date rape drugs, something to cover drinks if that's what you want, something you can order if you feel uncomfortable. And then you're in this establishment where there's other people who can provide support to you if you start to feel like something is happening. And so if I'm picking a bar, that's the bar I'm going to, right?
Kidding.
I want to go to the bar where the security staff and the bartenders and servers are trained on what to do if something happens to me in their bar, because it happens.
Yep. And I would, are some people reluctant to, maybe at first to, like if I own a bar, at first, do I want to maybe not do Safe Bar because I'm like, well, we don't have a problem here?
Yes.
Is that what people say? I actually don't agree with that, but
well, most at this point still bars are owned by men, and men just don't understand, and so they would think that, yes, I don't want people to think we have a problem here. Well, sorry, buddy, the problem exists everywhere. It's not just here. But by you acknowledging as a woman our experience when we go out and what we have to think about, I appreciate that. You're just naming what is already happening.
See, I would now I'm going to look out for that, because how do you know if a bar has the Safe Bar?
Yeah, so we have an app that the city helped us get, and you can just go to your app store, Google or Apple, and look up SAC Safe Bar. You can download it. You can look by maps. So say you're going to go, even it's statewide. So you say you're going to go to a different part of the state and you want to see, you can look by area. You can also look by the name of your favorite bar, and then say, oh, it didn't come up, and then go in there and say you should do this. Or you can say, oh, great, it's on there. But it has a list.
We need to do that. Now I'm curious to see
Yes.
which bars have it and to encourage people to do that. So you were also, when the bars are participating, is there a sign in the establishment or in the ladies' room?
There should be a sign on the front that says certified safe bar or proud to be a safe bar, like a decal in their front window.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
And then there should be in the restrooms something that says if you're uncomfortable, order this drink, has the crisis line number in case you're in the bathroom and you just need to talk to somebody or you need emergency help there. So just kind of gives people, that's where sometimes people go to just get away from people if they're feeling uncomfortable. Sometimes you're just in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's not just men can have a drink. I mean, is it right to say
roofied, spiked, tampered with, drugged? Yes.
There's a whole thing like 2 years ago where there was such a big trend, unfortunately, of iPhone theft and things happening. I swear a friend of mine was roofied in a bar, and she was with a guy friend, and really just all of a sudden something was wrong, and she never pursued it. He got her home. She was okay, but I think maybe it was a theft thing. I don't know, but it could happen to anyone.
It absolutely can, and it does, and it's just an unfortunate thing where you usually just don't know, but it's such a violation, and it's illegal. It's illegal. You can file a police report even if you have no idea how it happened or who did it. It is a very serious thing, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nashville's kind of infamous for its big bachelorette parties.
Yes.
So what are tips besides going to a bar, a safe bar? What are some tips when you're with your girls? Like, don't accept a guy comes over and gives your group, a round of shots. Like, is that a no-no? Or like, what, can you test it? Like, what do you do?
You can test it. So there are several different devices that you can buy. There's one called a Spiky. I love it. She's local here. She's in high school.
Oh.
Her name is Abigail, and she created this. And it's fantastic. It's a little keychain.
It's a little keychain. And what, do you dip it in the drink? Or?
No, so it has several, and you just take your straw and then you drop a little bit on there, and
oh my gosh,
it's fantastic. So you can buy these things on your own, or you can buy drink covers, and so there are things that you can do to mitigate. But I always want to say that you can do everything right according to what we're taught. The formula that we are given as women as to how not to be assaulted, and it can still happen.
Sure.
Because it is nothing that you do or don't do. It is on the perpetrator.
That's right.
It is them, always.
Right.
And sometimes when we talk a lot about all the things that you need to do to keep yourself safe, it unintentionally puts the blame on if something happens to you. Well, you didn't follow the formula to the T.
There you go. Then it's your fault. Or what are you doing out with your girls until 2 a.m. Or what are you doing dressed up like that?
Someone trying to find. And I will say that even women do this to other women, the victim blaming thing. With women, I think a lot of times it is a defense mechanism. I need to find some way that you are different than me, that makes me feel safer because I'm not. So it could be like I might stay out till 2 a.m, but then I would never go to this, or I would never wear that. So I'm going to say, because you wore that, that's why you're more likely to do it. But that's me saying, I'm just trying to separate because it's terrifying to think that this could happen to me too.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, also, it's never the victim's fault, no matter what.
That's right.
It is always the rapist that is at fault.
Yeah. What are the drugs that people use to, quote, roofie someone?
So ketamine, GHB, Rohypnol are probably of the most common, but crushed up Ambien, crushed up anything that's going to make your body not function, right? It just, that whole being roofied, well, a lot of people black out, but they black out, but their body's also completely limp.
Yeah.
That allows you to take control of somebody else's body.
Oh my goodness.
So any one of those drugs, and people have been adding some fentanyl to it in order to heighten it, and you use less of your own drugs. And so that's another thing to think about.
Something to be aware of. Well, you and I were talking, when I was in college and right after, this is just not something, certainly it happened, I'm sure. but it wasn't something talked about. It wasn't on my radar. I can't tell you how many free beverages I accepted from strangers. Mm-hmm. Seriously. And so, like, do you think it was always there and we just talk about it more, or do you think it's more prevalent now?
I think it was always there and we didn't talk about it. And that's the case with a lot of things. But I also think the access to drugs and the access that people have is more.
Right.
So then that makes it easier to do.
Right. Like maybe in the 80s, someone wouldn't know. I mean, no one had heard of fentanyl, certainly.
Yeah.
Or, you wouldn't know.
But ketamine could be legal. Like you can have that Ambien. Like those are drugs that are more common now and passed around. And so those are the types of things. I think there's just easier access to the drugs that allow it to be used more. And bars are, especially Nashville, the concentration of people in the bar.
Yeah.
Oftentimes that's why, people love to say Nashville has the worst problem in the country and all of that.
Do they? Okay. I mean, because it's such a party place.
Yeah. But Nashville is paying attention and is talking about it.
That's
I think
awesome.
Every single city that has these packed bars and these drinking bars has the same problem. They're just not talking about it. And Nashville is talking about it. They're tracking it. There's a plan. There's a task force that I'm on. I mean, everything is trying to do something about this problem. But it's just like anytime we talk about the Safe Clinic and we talk about services, we see a little bit of a spike in the people that come in. That doesn't mean that more people are being assaulted. That means that people actually know where to go and what to do, and they're more comfortable having the conversation. So as we start to do this, we're expecting to see a rise in the things that we see, not a drop, because it's going to take closer to a generation to actually see the long-term effects of having this conversation.
Yeah, that's encouraging. If there's somewhere to go for help, then you're going to hear more about it. And you were telling me about a cool thing called Red Frog.
Red Frogs. Oh, I love Red Frogs. Dan, you're going to listen to this. So it is an Australian-based nonprofit, and they have come to Nashville, and they have a tent that is right on the other side of Chiefs. Towards the river.
That's in Broadway, downtown.
On Broadway,
Nashville.
downtown. Yes, sorry.
No problem.
Go straight to the bars. I'm always down there. So they are fully volunteer run, but they will let you charge your phone, because that is a huge part of this. Is losing service, losing your phone dying, and then you can't reach your friends.
Then you're vulnerable.
Then you're very vulnerable.
And then you're separated from your pals. Yeah.
So
exactly.
Charge your phone, get you some water, keep you hydrated. Dan told me he held hair back and a young woman filled 2 vomit bags.
Oh, goodness.
So he's an angel.
Dan's a pal.
Well, that's what they say. They say they're your best mate. They walk you to your car. They help you get an Uber. They charge your
I love
phone.
This.
And so we want people to know that that's a resource. If you get separated from your friends and you're downtown and you're not sure where to go and you're a little bit tipsy, these are the people that you can go to. Security is busy. There's lines out the door. Bartenders are busy trying to find somebody in that chaos that's going to pay attention to you. Sometimes going to be hard. So if you can make your way over to their tent, I can't speak highly enough about that.
I am so happy to hear that. We're going to so definitely check that out if you need it, or you just need a little respite there. Well, you're shifting. You have started a business called Sunrise Strategies.
I have.
And this is like a perfect segue from what you've been doing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, I've been doing fundraising strategy development for nonprofits for 17 years. Started in corporate sales. Clearly, I've never had a problem asking for money.
And that's so needed. I mean, you must be in hot demand.
Hopefully soon. So it just started. I just really launched it this month, but it's an opportunity for nonprofits, especially those smaller nonprofits that can't hire an executive, that just need somebody to help them with strategy or to coach somebody that has less experience. You find somebody who's not afraid to ask for money, and they're just fresh out of college, and they're I want to do this, I want to help, I'm passionate. So they have the passion and they're not afraid to ask for money, but they just don't know what they don't know. Offering some coaching, helping them to see okay, here's how you can look at these different types of donors. But then you also may have some that are never going to bring on a person, and they just want somebody to write out a strategy for a year and to tell them exactly what to do. And so those are the things I want people to feel good about the money that they're getting, and government funds are being cut at an alarming rate. There's strings and stipulations being attached that nonprofits are having to make these choices between, do I serve my most vulnerable population as the way that I know that they need to be served, or do I change that so I can keep this money? And that's a tough thing.
Yeah, you were saying that some government agencies giving money to nonprofits or grants and things are now putting stipulations on language, things you can say, and then so you wouldn't get the grant if you didn't follow exactly what is asked of you. So how great to be independent of that needing the government money.
Exactly, because as of right now, it's like, we don't want you to do this with our money, and be like, great, keep your money. We're going to find another way, and we're going to stick unapologetically to our mission because it's that important.
Like, we don't want to. You would really just kind of go crazy trying to change all the time to fit the different criteria. It's like you have to have your mission,
absolutely,
and stick to it. So are you hopeful that you can make a difference?
I am. I really am hopeful. I am hoping to just get out there and to be a resource in any way that I can, and just allow the incredible nonprofits that exist in our city to be able to continue their missions. There's so many doing so much good work, and I don't want them to go away. There's plenty of money out there. There is. You just have to be creative and find the right people.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know you're gonna connect with people with some new ideas and doing great things. And well, thank you so much for talking to us about this. Are you hopeful? Are women in their 20s and 30s
40s.
open, and 40s? Are they open to the message? Are they not feeling fearful? Are they living their lives and doing fun things? But just it's different. I talked about it in our personal safety episode. But my Graham didn't go to bars.
Didn't go to bars.
I go to bars.
Yes.
I still go to bars.
Same. My mother-in-law has never been to a bar. She told me that, and has never had a drink.
My mom-in-law, unless we were in a group at a big table, I think not.
Yes. So this is what I say. Do what you're comfortable with. And if you're comfortable going out, like, you take the precautions that you're able to take to mitigate some of the risk.
Mm-hmm.
And know what resources are out there, and you do you, and you live your life, and we just hope for the best.
Gotta be smart, gotta plan ahead, gotta be strong.
Plan ahead, have it. But even if you do all of those things, and this isn't to scare people to say, even if you do everything right, but if you do everything right and something happens, it's not your fault. It is the bad guy's fault. It is the rapist's fault. And we're sitting here having conversations of like, ladies, how to go out and have a fun time. But you know what? Men need to tell other men, don't be a rapist.
Yeah. Like, not okay.
Not okay. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Act like that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Please, guys.
Yeah.
We love you.
But don't be a rapist.
Do you say that at dinner parties too?
I sure do, MD. I do.
Well, good. Let's go out to dinner.
Yes. I'm going to wear a T-shirt.
It's so simple. Lorraine, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for talking to us.
Always.
Hopefully we've learned something from this and been inspired. So. Thank you.
Yes.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Let's Talk, Ladies, Conversations Across Generations. We'd love to hear from you. If you like this episode, please subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. And you can comment on the episode on any of these platforms. We love the feedback, and it also really helps us with sponsors. So leave those comments. We so appreciate it. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can also send us an email at ltlconversations@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 629-888-3542. See you next time on LTL.